So my first question would be, are you against animal abuse? Yeah, right. Do you think that it makes sense to be against animal abuse but to pay for animal products such as meat, dairy, eggs, wool, leather, and so on? No, right? Because ultimately, what happens with all of these animals? What happens with them? They get killed. Yeah, they don't just die, they get murdered, right? And all animals will end up in a slaughterhouse. So as soon as a hen is not laying enough eggs anymore, we slit their throat. And as soon as a dairy cow, a so-called dairy cow, is not getting pregnant anymore for her mother's milk, right? We send her to the slaughterhouse and cut her throat, right? And do you know what has to happen in the dairy industry with the children of the cow?
Well, they get separated.
Yeah, directly after birth, we take away their children and we kill them when they're boys because they can't produce milk. And when they're female, they get into the same cycle as their mother. We forcefully impregnate them over and over again, and after 5 to 6 pregnancies, we slit their throat. And this is what happens. So is this what you want to happen?
No. There's also chickens get pumped with loads of hormones and stuff.
Yeah, but even if not, we are still exploiting them, right?
Yeah.
Because we view these animals as resources when we're not vegan, right? We view them as a commodity, as a product, right? We discriminate them because of their DNA, because they're not a dog or not a human, right? Do you know how this type of discrimination is called?
No.
It's called speciesism.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because racism, we discriminate based on race, okay, on skin color and heritage and stuff. Sexism, we discriminate others based on their gender. And speciesism is we discriminate others based on their species. So is this what you want to support or rather boycott?
No, I have a question.
Yes.
If you do you think it's better to buy, if you wanted to eat meat, for example,
yeah,
do you think it's better to buy organic free range? Does that make any difference?
It doesn't make any difference at all, and I can tell you why. Because first of all, these animals are still considered a commodity. They're considered not only a commodity but property. They are our slaves, by definition, right? Because we own them. They're our slaves, and we decide when they get born what we do to them and when we will kill them, right? And we exploit them their entire life. And even if we treat them very well, those animals are still enslaved. The status is still property, enslavement there. We don't care about their interest as long as we eat their flesh and their body parts and wear their skin, And when you see it in the human context, right? Back then when the white people enslaved the black people, right? We wouldn't accept the argument that, oh, look at the slave owner, he's treating his slave so well, he's giving his slave a nice room and good food, but he's still enslaving someone else. And that's the same with these animals. They're not free, right? They're never free, right? And they will be all sent to the slaughterhouse sooner or later, where we put them into gas chambers, where we stab them to death, electrocute them, slit their throats, and so on. And there's no way around that, right? Viewing someone else as a commodity is not right. We've done that so many times, it was always wrong. And it's the same with them. They cannot consent to any of that. And it's not okay. They're like little children cognitively,
Yeah.
So, is anything holding you back from going vegan right now?
I haven't bought meat since I've lived here. I just buy vegan chicken, so...
Yeah, it's also very tasty.
Yeah. I have eaten meat out, but rarely.
Yeah, but do you think that a little exploitation is still exploitation?
Yeah. I could be vegan.
Yeah.
I don't drink cow's milk or anything.
Yeah.
So.
And also most people are already vegan in their heart, because veganism is not a diet as most people think. It's a moral philosophy, and it means that when you reject the commodification of animals and when you reject their exploitation, you're vegan at heart. This is literally what it is, by definition. When you reject the commodity status of animals and when you say that they have inherent value because they're sentient individuals, right? Just as you and I, and that's veganism. So most people are already vegan at heart, And if I would have any animal right here, right now, and I would attack the animal, you would hold me back, right? You wouldn't join, or? So then you're vegan, not only vegan, you're activist like me. You will protect animals, right? And now it's just time to line your morals and your actions, don't you think? Because when you're against all of that throat-slitting, discrimination, oppression, enslavement, and so on, the only rational response is to boycott that and to not fund it, to not give your money to it, right? And that's veganism in a nutshell. This is why we're here. So, are you vegan from now on, or is anything holding you back?
Yeah, I mean, probably. I mean, I don't really eat meat anyway, so...
Yeah. You know what, but it's a thing that you can say, because ultimately the question is how many animals from this moment on should be bred into existence, exploited, enslaved and killed in your name and in your name? 0 or more than 0? What do you wish for?
0. That'd be nice.
And it's a good thing, because you can do it from now on. It's so easy, and I did it too. When I was watching slaughterhouse footage for the first time, it blew my mind. I just wasn't aware. I just wasn't educated. But once I turned vegan on the spot, as well as my boyfriend and my brother and so many of my friends. And you can do it. You know, nobody is forcing you to buy animal products. But as long as you're not living vegan, you're literally forcing those animals into existence and into their murder, into the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
So vegan from now on, or what?
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Thanks.
High five, high five. Let me give you a card. You're more than welcome. Let me give you a card, okay? Watch Dominion. When you go on the site, it's a documentary. It shows you in 2 hours long the standard methods in the animal exploitation industries, which are for food, clothing, entertainment, testing, and the pet industry, right? 5 categories in which we exploit animals. Watch it so you know how the world works. Everything that we do on this earth is based on that, on the backs of the animals, and we have to know, we have to see it, and we have to talk about it with everyone we know, right? And speak up for them. Slaughterhouses can't be here forever, right? Great. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful vegan life then, right? Absolutely. Bye-bye.